Okay, Catherine, how you doing? Thanks for kicking things off here. So, I was taking a look through your writing here. A couple of things I want to address, and then we'll take a look at the work. The details in the mountains and the small clusters of trees. I'm glad there were brushes made to imitate foliage. I don't recommend using and introducing new brushes to the mixer brush project, and the reason being is because it quite possibly could create some inconsistencies in the stylistic development and visual demeanor of the outcome. I'll talk about that in a second. Again, it took them a while to get familiar with all the different adjustments. Should have watched more tutorials before jumping into the project. And I agree, that's really, really critical. And something else you mentioned over here, mixer. Well, actually, let's just continue. The tools mean nice small edits in an image. Okay, you talk about this is a good tool for Photoshop to have. Listen, before Photoshop had this tool, we used to have to do this work in Corel Painter. It was a whole different learning curve. I mean, the mixer brush is a game changer to Photoshop. It's extremely powerful, and the results, as you can well attest to, are just absolutely stunning. The caveat, the drawback here is it's very, very, very time consuming. Okay, let's go ahead. I made the mistake of not making sure sample all layers was clicked. Yes, absolutely. Otherwise, you're just working on one layer. So sample all layers allows the tool to look through all of the layers to sample pixels from all layers as opposed to just a single layer. So absolutely, absolutely, that's a critical factor. Let's go ahead and jump over to where I think that's a great start. I really do. Let me just bring this into the window. I think it's a fantastic start, but there are some areas of inconsistency, specifically when we look at brush strokes. I think the area that provides the most consistency is the presentation of the mountains and the presentation of the foreground grass. I think there are some inconsistencies in the brush stroke presentation in this area right here, the little ridge, along with the foliage associated there, and definitely in the clouds. The clouds don't look like they've been used a mixer brush at all. So my recommendation is just to start over. Well, you don't even have to really start over. Just take anything that you've added without the mixer brush and try to go back to the original image and use the mixer brush to establish consistent brush strokes. And to a high degree, that's going to create visual harmony in the piece, and it's going to make it much more visually appealing. Based on the consistency of the presentation of brush stroke. So again, in summary, I would say to go back and take a look at the areas where the brush stroke, the mountains look phenomenal, and the foreground grass looks phenomenal too. But as we can clearly see a stylistic difference in this area right here, this area here, and the entire sky. So my recommendation is to go back and to try to create some consistencies in the visual presentation of those different areas of the painting. All right, great start. Thanks so much for sharing, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, thank you very much.